Hello everyone and welcome back to Xlibris Gaming. It's been a while since I've published a video in English, but the truth is I didn't have much time, and also most of the games I would make a video about were exhaustively reviewed, unboxed and playthroughed from other creators and since my native language is not English, there was no point in just producing a mediocre English review of a game that has been reviewed by a billion other channels. However, I have recently played a game in a series that I really love. I have come to love it over the years, and I would really like to get it to a wider audience, so English is the only way right now to do this. So please excuse my poor English. I will try to convey to you my thoughts about this game as best as I can, and let me say up front that I believe that it has what it takes to become a great game, to prove itself in the test of time, and let me risk the prediction that it will be considered in a few years' time one of the classic games in this series, and the first game that opened a whole new perspective for this, a whole new road for this series. Okay, the game is it's heavy. Red Dust Rebellion, the 12th volume in Coin series, designed by Jared Carmichael and published by GMT Games. This series was introduced, and of course the main series designer is Volko Ruhnke. I don't think he needs any more introduction than that. Yes, it is heavy. The maps, as you know, are mounted, so it is, sorry, let me get it out of the way. So this is a heavy game. Well, is it heavy rules wise? Yes, I would say it is one of the coin games that you wouldn't call introductory, but as I'm always saying about coin games, it's about the theme. If you like the theme, then there is a way to learn the game. It's not the barrier is there in some, at least in some of them, but it's not that high that you cannot enjoy the game. Of course, if you're an experienced gamer, that's a no-brainer. It's a coin game. Okay, this is the first game that it doesn't share a historical setting with the rest of them. It's a science fiction game. It's a game about Mars, about the colonization of Mars. The year is 2250, and it's the bicentenary. 200 years ago we have colonized Mars. But people being people, there are some problems that lead people, as in the rest of the coin series, to separate themselves into factions that each one has its own goals and its own means to achieve them. It's a game of conflict, a conflict in various levels, in military level, political level, and that's the core of every coin game. As you know, it's a card-driven game, and the well-known mechanism of eligibility, using the events versus doing operations, special activities, everything is there, plus a couple of more interesting mechanics in this one. I think the crucible of this what this review will try it, or I think that any review about Red Dust Rebellion, has to answer is it believable? Can the players feel the theme of the game? For the rest of the Con series, it's apparent. We're talking about historical conflicts, things that have really happened in the past, and factions that were real by real people. So there's no question there. No matter if you agree with the faction or not, the faction is there. You know from history what its faction was, what its goals was, and how it tried to achieve them. Now everything had to come from the designer's own mind, and the designer notes are very interesting, and I totally recommend reading them. And I mean, he has gone to great lengths to give credibility to the game. There is even a timeline in the notes citing the main event. I mean, the designer tries to cover 200 years of fictitious, Mars history. That's something by itself. Okay, so yes, this is what I have to say. I think the designer was very successful in this. Of course, he has based his factions in real life factions and what they would do in real life. So, but he has managed to really transform them in how they would operate in Mars. I mean, the Martian government, maybe it's the easiest one. I mean, they do what every government in history has done or has tried to do. Stability, support, stuff like that. And the corporations, I mean, I don't know if anything will change in the next 200 years, but corporations are corporations. So, more or less what to expect, no matter if it's Earth-based or Mars-based or, not just multinational companies anymore, multiplanetary corporations, yeah. And the rebels, of course. The Red Dust movement. I mean, I loved the name. First of all, Red Dust movement. Yeah, it was great. Okay, Red Planet, Mars. Okay, the rebels do. I mean, the rebels have a reason to be there, and these reasons are apparent in the game. So they're not just rebels. They're not there just to fill a slot in the number of factions, just to be the third faction of the game. They have reasons. The game gives them reasons to be there, and it gives them goals, realistic goals to achieve what real rebels would try to achieve, and more or less with the same means. The fourth faction, the Church of the Reclaimer, is tricky. And it is this faction that I was most cautious about whether it will, and most curious, of course, whether it will achieve a realism, and whether it will be just a let's say an obstacle for the three other factions, or it would be believable. Really playable faction. And I have to say yes, designer George has made it real, has fleshed it out nicely, and it has made it real. I mean, the Church of the Reclaimer, what it basically does is trying to get people not exactly away from Mars. Their aim is to leave Mars alone. I mean, they believe that people should adapt to Mars and not terraform Mars to suit people's needs. And it's a very interesting ideology. Of course, I can see the basis of this ideology here in Earth as well, but it really conveys the sense of fanatism. They're not doing this for profit. They're not doing this to gain necessarily something for themselves. This faction, they play to get their ideology to become the main ideology of Mars, to get Mars where they believe they believe it should be, and minimize humanity's impact on Mars. I mean, it was tricky. I had my doubts about this faction, but it's a real one. I mean, you come to think of it, you see it in Earth 2. I use it in real history that there were people, sometimes we call them fanatics, sometimes by other names, that they were just doing something because they believe in it, and they have no personal gain from it. And this is coupled with a very interesting mechanism in how the faction play. I mean, the faction has also its operations and special activities like every other faction, but the way they claim eligibility is different, and also they have their own deck of cards with resources, events, and stuff like that. And they play, they use this deck for events or for resources, or even to get a better place in the eligibility table. And I mean, this is something I haven't played every coin game, of course, but I think this is something unique in the coin games so far. Also, the Red Dust Movement has its own interesting mechanic with some events that they work kind of like momentum events in other coin games, but they really throw in a spanner in the works, mainly of the corporations and the government. I mean, it's an interesting mechanic. And also the third mechanic, I would dare say the more simple of these three mechanics, is the Origin Cycler, where Earth basically supports Mars government and the corporations, and there is a way you don't immediately transfer stuff from Earth to Mars. They have to go through transit and reach Phobos, and there is some uniqueness to this too, and I think that adds an extra layer of interest in this game. I mean, it's so interesting trying to play with those mechanisms and see what they're about. I have played as every coin game. It has also a full solo mode. It's a card-based bot, not one bot, it's actually 3 bots, and it's named Curiosity for obvious reasons, of course. And I mean, it's very well designed. Some people prefer flowcharts, some people prefer the card-based system. I mean, if it's well designed, it doesn't matter. Personally, I tend to prefer the card-based system. It introduces variability in how the factions, the non-player factions play. But as I've said, if it's well designed, it doesn't matter. And I think the bot is very well designed. I have played solo, played the Mars government against the bots. Well, I was curious about the Church of the Reclaimer, but I wanted to have familiar ground to stand on in order to be able to understand the game and to be able, of course, to review this game. There are some people in my country that actually wait for this review. I have done a Greek version as well, so yeah, I had to be able to convey to them what this game is about. So I went the safe way. I have played Morse Government, so I was standing on familiar ground. I could see how the other factions, especially the rebels and the Church of the Reclaimer, worked, and how these mechanics would affect play. And it was a great experience. The game plays smoothly, I'd say, even in full solo mode, where you have to play the bots as well, and sometimes, as anyone who has played these games solo knows, sometimes the choices are not so obvious, or what you should do with the bot is takes a little bit of thinking, but things run smoothly generally. Let me forgot to mention that there are no scenarios in this game. In most common games there are a couple at least of scenarios, and short campaigns, long campaigns, stuff like that. There's no such thing here. It's just one scenario, one standard setup, a standard campaign. You play there 3 campaigns. Third, Dust Storm, as propaganda or whatever you call the rounds, the recap rounds in coin games, however you call them. There are 3 of them, 3 cards. Third card, game's over, and you see who has won the game, who has achieved their victory conditions. And yeah, that's about it. Then, as I've said, it plays. It's not. I was afraid it would be, with all those mechanisms and stuff, it would be a very long game and no short option. But it's not. It plays surprisingly fast, I'd say, for its size. And yeah, I really loved it. So yes, that was my review for Red Dust Rebellion. If you are a coin, oh yeah, that's it. Sorry, love the art as well. Forgot to mention that. I found the colors in the art very nice, very thematically driven, and the designer also recommends some music to listen to while playing the game. And yeah, I tried a little bit, but I wasn't there were other people around, so yeah. But try this also. It's very interesting. So if you're a coin series fan, just go for it. It's let's say a refreshing concept in the series. Also, if you are not familiar with coin, but you love science fiction, maybe this is a game that you can try and see if coin series in general is for you. Not the simplest of coin games, but still, as I've said, I believe a seasoned gamer would have no trouble learning this game. And yeah, definitely the playbook, the rule book, and the notes, and the bots also help players do exactly that. So that was my review. Thank you for watching, and play games.